Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If it's Tuesday, it must be the Idle Zone Syndicate. Jack Graves already commented we weren't even through the intro music. So, because he missed, he got beat last week.
Yeah, he did.
So,
Yeah, he did. What's up,
Jack's
Mark?
there. Moody's already there. You guys look nervous or bored, or I'm not sure which. Maybe worried is the way to put that.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
Legendary Kansas anglers Dale Manning and Jesse Jordan in the house tonight.
I don't know about legendary.
Yeah.
Well, legendary can
Legendary donators.
Yes.
I mean, is Jesse on the lake somewhere? He's got the background blurred.
I'm in my shop.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want anybody to see the secret lures hanging on the wall.
Nope, no juice, man. You
Oh
can't
my
share the
gosh!
juice.
Here you go.
He getting ready to go to Eufaula, so he can't share the juice.
Ah,
No, I'm going to Table Rock here shortly, and it's supposed to rain like 12 and a half inches in 3 days.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous about that.
Exciting times.
yeah.
I'll be about 2 hours west of you.
West of me, west of Jesse.
West of Jesse. I'll be down there by John. I'll be down
Cool.
there at Grand.
Very cool.
What are you fishing?
AIA.
Should be nice and rainy for y'all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks wet and nasty, and
I
Wow.
did all the mowing today, which is normally done on Thursday, because probably not going to get to it till next week.
yeah.
So I
No
got it all. I got it all done today. I might go fishing tomorrow.
Hope you do.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah. See if it's storming when I wake up in the morning. We'll see. But
Well, we had planned to have NPFL pro Louis Fernandes on tonight, and it's just not in the cards apparently. This is the third time we've tried, and it's just apparently not going to happen. So, if we get the opportunity, we'll bring Louis on another time.
I don't know what's going on with this guy. Oh, there he is.
April Fool!
April Fool.
Third time's a charm, boys.
Well, it's 7:00 where we are, and it's 5 where you are. So Totally get it. Totally understand.
Yep.
Man, welcome to the show.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Glad I could make it finally.
Absolutely. And I kind of purposely booked old Dale up there since he was on the NPFL tour with you a couple years. I still have my
Yeah.
NPFL
Thanks for the support.
fundraiser shirt.
Yeah.
I needed to sell about 1 million more of those.
Right? We miss old Dale. Dale was my buddy.
I miss it. I miss it bad.
Yeah. We got some stiff competition this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tour's a little different this year. I don't know if I'm looking in the wrong place, but I could not find like your monetary stats, like some of the other leagues you can find what they've made pretty easy, and so I don't really have that. I know that you I know that your Angler of the Year stats look pretty good. 2004, you were 24, you were fourth, I think.
Yeah.
And then 23, you were eighth. 22, 41st. 21, 21st. So pretty consistent. I believe you had a win in there. At some
Yeah.
Was that Eufaula that you won?
Yeah. You follow Oklahoma
Yeah.
down to a nail biter, dude. Like it was actually tied in that tournament going into after it was all said and done. I tied with oh, who did I tie with? The kid,
Harkins.
Harkins. Yep. I
Yeah,
tied with Hark. I tied with Harkins, and you know the funny thing is about that tournament is I should have blown that tournament away by like 10 or 12 pounds. I lost a 6 on day 2. I lost a 4 on day 3. Or no, day 1 I lost a 4 or like 4 to 5. Day 2 I lost a 6. And then I had like each day I had a dead fish penalty that cost me
Mm.
4 ounces each day. So there's 12 ounces in dead fish penalties, and it came down to a tie. If I would have lost that tournament, I would still be on suicide watch.
So it was a tie on the final day?
Yeah, the final day.
And what was the tiebreaker?
Biggest bag of between us.
Biggest
And
bag.
I weighed in 15, I think 15-1 on the last day, and that was bigger than any bag he weighed in.
That was a nail biter for sure. William and I were down there to watch that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you know what the tiebreaker was when you?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought in my head when I was sitting in the hot seat on stage, I'm like, oh, if they're gonna go off like some conservation rule, like who had more dead fish, I'm like, I'm screwed.
Yeah, I mean, everybody
I'm like,
has. All the leagues have different rules.
yeah.
I don't know the NPFL rules. You know, right
And
off
that's
the
the
top of my
year.
head. But the
That's the year
bass
they.
rules are the most. Your first tiebreaker is the most fish,
Yep.
and
And
the
that's the
most
year
legal
they
fish.
changed it. They
And then,
changed it that if it would have been the rules from the year before up to that date was a pound per dead fish. So they
yeah.
changed it that year to 4 ounces per dead fish.
Hmm.
So I got lucky on that deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, real
Well,
lucky.
well, that's good though. So what did that do for you? What was that what year was that?
That was 23, I think. Yeah, 23. Oh yeah, there's the trophy right. The trophy's right there. That was September 28th, 2023.
September. So fishing can be kind of tough around here in September.
Oh man, the water temp, I think that lake was like in the high 80s, low 90s, I believe.
Yeah.
That time of year. It was hot.
Yeah, that's
And I
crazy.
did everything right with my fish. I iced them, I GG, and I never had a dead fish up to that date at all in the NPFL, like never. And I had 3 dead fish that tournament, 1 per day.
That'll test your faith.
Oh gosh, man. You know what the funny thing is in that deal is at noon I had a small limit and I box my 5th one and I look in there and all fish are upside down. Like all of them barely alive, like all 5 of them. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, this is crazy. Like, dude, the water's cool. Like, I don't know what's going on. So and this was the last day. I emptied my live wells all the way down to nothing, pumped new water in there, new G juice, new ice, and somehow they all came back to life. They were barely like they just all came back to life except for that 5-pounder I had. And I don't know, man. I did a lot of praying that day and a lot of like God was on my side on that one because it could have gone so bad. It just could have gone so bad and it didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So where do you live at?
Santa Maria, California, right on the coast, right on the beach.
Is that Southern California?
Central. So
Central.
I'm in between San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara.
Okay.
I'm about 10 minutes from the original tackle warehouse when they first started.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
And so, and you're one of the OGs in the MPFL. Your originals, and you've had some changes. And here recently, the league has, which has attracted, as you mentioned, some pretty big names from some other leagues. So how's that going?
I love it. Bring it on. Like, I love it. It's
Yeah.
just gonna grow it. That's what we needed. Like, when the bigger names come, when the household names come and all that, I feel like more sponsor dollars are gonna come and you're gonna get that recognition.
Yeah.
Because before, I believe, like the first couple 2-3 years, like, I love the NPFL. They're doing everything right. It's an awesome league. Like, it really is. And they just didn't cross over yet. Like, it wasn't there yet. Like, a lot of the industry didn't give them the respect yet. Like, they just didn't cross over yet. And I feel like this season right here was the season they crossed over. Like, now, and if you look on everybody's posts, now they're considering us they're considering us next to MLF and Bass,
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they really made it now. Like, they crossed over.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it on this show several times. I think we all kind of agree that there's 3 leagues. They all do their own thing, and they've all got uh, good audiences. And I think becoming more of where everybody watches everything. Like, I know I do. I mean, I watch all 3 leagues and pay attention to all 3 leagues, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
is I hear a lot of guys talk about, like, especially the ones that are maybe just now fishing it, the vibe or the feeling at MPFL. What's that like?
It's awesome, man. Like I said, I fished MLF before. I mean, I fished a lot of circuits up to this date, but the vibe at the MPFL, you get that family vibe. You get that brother. Well, Dell knows. You get that brotherhood. That
Oh yeah.
that just, like, if you fish the other leagues, it's more hush hush, more like, not, you just a brotherhood. Like, you just don't, what it reminds me of? Remember back in the day when we had the National Guard, FLW National Guard days,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a good circuit. Everybody was rooting for everybody. Just good sponsors. Good. That's what the NPFL reminds me of. Right
Yeah.
there is the old FLW
Like
National Guard days.
like everybody's cousins, and
Yep.
you meet up at holidays 5 times a year.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
And no
cool.
one's out, and you don't see a lot of poaching going on. You don't see a lot, like, there's a lot of respect in that league. Like, really, a lot of respect.
Yeah, I never had anybody cut me off.
Nope.
If you got fairly close to somebody, you're like, "Hey, you going this way, that way? What are you doing?" And everybody talks, and it was cordial.
Yeah.
You want to hear a cool story about that Eufaula Oklahoma tournament?
Sure.
So on day 2, these are the kind of guys that we're fishing against. On day 2, I had this area all to myself. I found it 2 months prior to the tournament in pre-practice. I went there for a week and just did nothing but graphing. And on day 2, I was like, I had a good draw. I was like, before I head out there, I'm going to stop on this riprap bank for about 20 minutes and throw a topwater, see if I can't get a big one. So I roll down this riprap bank, throwing a topwater, and I'm just about ready to put my rod down and idle out to that little brush pile spot. and there's a boat that just and gets off pad right on him. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? I'm like, are you serious? Why did I stop? I should have just went out there. My heart's just shaking, dude. And I'm like, so I look out there and I'm idling out there, and it's Hunter Bogman, and I don't know how he found it, but he was the only one that found it. And he gets off pad and he looks at me, and I'm like 40 yards away. So he has every right. That's his, like it's his at this point. And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, are you coming out to this brush pile?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right, you can have it." He goes, I'll let you have it since you were here yesterday. And he gave it to me, dude. He didn't have to do that. Like, he was still in the running. He was still, I think, in the top 10 or the top 15. Like, he did not have to give me that brush pile, and he let me have it, and I cleaned house that day on it. So hats off to him, and that's about all the guys in the NPFL. They're that respectful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is very cool.
That's awesome. I think we've all done. I think we've all done that, where we decide we're going to start on a point, and we head there, and nobody's on it, so we stop 100 yards short.
Yeah.
Fishing, and then we get mad when somebody comes behind us and goes to the point directly, and
yeah,
I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, dude, oh my God, yep.
Just go to the point, man. Just go to your spot. That's where you're going to go. Just go there and work your way back the other way.
Yep. But that just shows you what kind of guys we're fishing against right there. Like,
yeah,
just down to earth, respectful guys. I mean, just an awesome crew over there.
Yeah,
like, really is.
My first tournament with them at Eufaula, Alabama, and a guy came in on me and or close by, and he asked, he's like, "Hey, can I flip this over here?" It's like, prove me wrong, because I already fished it.
Yeah,
two flips. He caught a 5-pounder. You gotta be
been there, done that.
Yeah,
that's
every day. That's everyday occurrence with me.
But everybody was talking. It's like, "Hey, good for you." It's like,
yeah.
Because there's no encroachment rule over there.
Right.
There's nothing. Their rule is you guys handle it like professional fishermen out on the lake.
Sportsmanship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's their rule.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you fish anything else? Like, do you fish the one bass out there or anything like that?
I try to, like, if they line up, if my schedules line up where I could cherry pick a few tournaments out here. My son, he's 17 now. He got a new boat, and he's fishing out of the front of the boat this year. So he goes to Clear Lake. I think this Friday he's leaving to Clear Lake for that California Open. So I would like to fish a little more out here if our schedules line up. But this year, man, it's a long schedule back east, so I'm not going to get to fish nothing out here. Last year I got to fish a couple out here at some Toyota Series, but now the Toyota Series ain't coming out here no more. MLF's not coming out here no more. So really all there is to fish out here is pretty much one bass and like that new BAM tour, the Bass Angler Magazine tour they have going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love fishing the U.S. Open, but now the U.S. Open's in October, and it's like this October I'm fishing that Ultimate Angler Championship on Lake Gunnersville, that $500,000 tournament, and then we have our championship from 2024 for the NPFL in October. So I'll be the whole month of October. I'll be out with you guys.
Yeah. How do you qualify for that Ultimate Angler tournament?
Dude, it's so easy. It's like, well, it was easy. Now it's pretty difficult to get in. But when they first posted about it, you just pay a $500 registration fee. That's it. That's all you're paying throughout the whole deal is $500, and then just be a top finisher on any sanctioned tournament, NPFL, Bass, ABA. Just they have a whole list of them where if you're top finisher in any of these tournaments, you're automatically in. Well, right when they posted this deal, I paid my $500. So I actually qualified at the Pickwick event of the NPFL last year. So there was only, I think, 2 guys qualified to in that event. I think it was me and Will Harkins, and I was top finisher, so I was in. But now that the cat's out of the bag and everybody knows about this tournament, now when you go to a tournament this year, you got like 30, 40 guys trying to qualify in it.
Yeah.
Now it's a little difficult.
Is it just Alabama tournaments, or is it anywhere?
It's anywhere. There's a whole list of them. I think it's any Bassmaster tournament. I think it's any one bass tournament. I think it's any American Bass tournament. I think it's the NPFL. I mean, there's a whole list of tournaments you could qualify through. And there's team tournaments. There's a lot of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know Jordan. We had Jordan Lee on, and he talked a little bit about it too, but he wasn't really even clear how you qualify. He just knew he was in.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big deal. The state of Alabama is who's putting it on. So the money's there. That's the good thing. Like the money's there, no matter how many people qualify or how many people fish it. That $500,000's there. So, yeah. And then the no forward facing sonar. If you've been to Gunnersville in October, that thing's choked with grass and no forward facing sonar. It's a no brainer how it's going to be won. You know what I mean? So it's anybody's ball game. It's not like you're going to get whooped by a jighead minnow in the middle of the lake. It's literally anybody's ball game that time of year.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked on it, man. I'm really stoked on it. I can't wait for that one.
That's cool.
I think second place is like 130 grand. Like third place is like, I think 100 grand. Fourth is like 90 grand. They're paying out over $1 million, I think, just for the payout.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. That's life-changing money right there.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
You win that thing. I've never had $500,000 in my bank account.
Me neither.
No.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Jesse has, but
yeah.
No.
Jesse does.
Jesse does.
No.
What tournament are you looking forward to that's coming up?
Probably. I was looking forward to Santee. I was like, that was the one I thought I could win, but I just had too many. I found too many fish is what happened. I found where second place was. I found that the first day of practice, where second, third place were in the tournament, and I left them alone because I didn't catch no giants there in practice. I'm like, and they moved up the night before in there, and they whacked them. Where Bill Lowen got fourth, that's where I fished the whole tournament, and I don't know, I seen Bill the whole time. We were trading paint the whole time, and I was fishing the outside of this tree line because I caught a 9 and a 7 in practice, and I shook off like 15 bites after I caught the 9 and 7. And then we had 2 off days. Well, I think in those off days, my fish moved in the inner tree line to Bill Lowen. You know what I mean? So it's like just bad luck that whole tournament. And but that's the one I thought I could win. But the one I'm really looking forward to is Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma, and that's only because I won there, and I spent a week, 2 weeks of straight graph in that place, so I got everything marked. And now you can't have forward facing sonar, so I think I have a little bit of advantage there, having everything already marked, and so I'm looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to, what was the other one? St. Lawrence River, and that's only because I've never been there.
Oh yeah.
And I heard nothing but good. All good there,
Yeah.
But Gunnersville, I'm looking. That one too, because I'm a grass fisherman, you know, that's going to be a good tournament, you know.
Yeah, it should be good. It
Yeah.
should be good. So what's the Lewis go-to technique that you like to do the best?
Shallow crank.
Shallow crank.
Yep.
Like
Nine to 10 foot and lower
any
and
certain like
shallower.
kind of crankbait or brand or you
Dude,
sponsored?
I know I mean, I'm a real crankbait fisherman. I got boxes and boxes and boxes and more boxes and more boxes. And I just love the shallow crank. Dude, I'm really, what bait I'm really hooked on that I won probably more money than all of them. And it hasn't been out that long is that Fritz side biggin.
Yes, sir.
Like that's just a phenomenal bait. Like it really
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah.
But I throw a whole bunch of them. DTs, I mean custom DTs. Like my buddy just designed one. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Delta Dude, the guy that owns Scumline Customs and Blanked Customs out by the Delta, California Delta. Well, he just designed a square bill shallow crankbait that they're catching them on at the Delta. That he's going to send me a couple, so I can't wait to get those ones.
Nice.
But it's like a grass swampy crankbait that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that one. I think they're dropping actually tomorrow. If you look at on his website, either go to Blank or Scumline Customs or Delta Dude. He has like 3 different sites, but I think they're dropping tomorrow. So they're badass crankbaits. They look good.
What's your what's the biggest bag you've ever caught in a tournament? In a
And
tournament.
I want to say 30, mid 30s, I believe, at the Delta. It was, I think, 36, maybe.
Come to
36.
Kansas and try that.
Yeah.
Wait, dude, you want to hear a story about a big fish, pre-fish story? I was pre-fishing a tournament at Clear Lake, throwing the Huddleston. And when the Huddleston just barely came out, probably a couple of years, and I caught one close to 15 in practice on this point, and I about died. I'm like, gosh, dang it. Yeah, she
I
was
did
almost
now.
15 pounds.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy big.
So is that
I mean,
the place?
Huh?
Is that the place to go in California? Is Clear Lake or is it the Delta?
That's the place to go to in the country. Like Clear Lake's, dude. Clear Lake's the best bass fishing lake in the country, hands down, 100%. For largemouth, anyways. For largemouth.
I would.
Like, there's no bad days there. There's no like,
Yeah.
oh, it's off. It's off. It's like it's always on. Like you're catching over 30 from December to January. From January to December, you're catching over 30. Like it's going to take over 30 to win.
Yeah. I've
There's
fished
no
a few
off days.
times. It's pretty awesome. It's a fun lake to fish. That's for sure.
What time of year did you fish it?
Probably April or May.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was back when I was running the Bass Nation divisionals. You know, we had several events on Clear Lake.
Yeah.
Mark Torres weighed in over 30 one day on that. Chief weighed in 35
Yeah.
one day, and then like zeroed the next day. Oh, it's like, Chief.
That happens.
Yeah.
I actually fished that one bass Cal Open last year, and I didn't have none of my rods. I didn't have my boat. I didn't have no tackle here. Everything was back east. So I had iRods send me some rods. I just told them, send me some swim bait rods. I'm just going to throw swim bait the whole time and see if I can win this thing. I ended up blanking 2 of the 3 days.
So do you live? So do you leave your boat and your stuff back here somewhere,
Yep.
and you just fly home?
Yep. So what
Yeah.
I do is so for instance, my stuff's already at an hour from Lake Norman. It's actually getting wrapped at Jason Williamson's shop. But what I do is I'll fly to the tournament because my truck and boat there. I'll fish the tournament and then I'll hightail it to the next tournament on the schedule. I'll pre-practice, as long as I can before cutoff. Usually like 4 or 5 days. I'll leave it there somewhere, whoever I know around that area, and then I'll fly home. So that way, when I fly back, my stuff's already at the tournament.
There you go.
And you know what the cool thing is about that is 5 years of fishing the MPFL, 4 or 5 years. I've never had a time where I'm like, dude, where am I going to leave my stuff? Oh my God, I'm tripping out. I've always had someone that lives an hour or less from that tournament that I know.
Mhm.
That's the cool thing.
Well, I
That
don't live
just
less. I don't live less than an hour, but you're welcome to leave it here if you need to. If you need some place to leave it.
Where's that at? Lake Douglas, the next one?
No, we live. I live on Grand Lake
Oh
in
man,
Oklahoma.
oh yeah.
You know, so-
I love that lake. That was a good one. That was a fun one.
Dale?
What, Dale?
I was on the drum pattern. I did see a bunch of big ones though. They were trying to eat the little ones I was catching.
Mm.
It was frustrating.
Dude, on our event when we were there, I found those fish all the way up that Elk River. I stayed up the Elk all 3 days.
Yeah. Don't hit the
Mhm.
bridge.
I caught them up. I cashed a check up there, but I mean, when those guys started weighing in all those dock fish, I'm like, gosh, damn, I missed the number on this one.
Yeah.
I fished way too many memories in that one.
Yeah. I think
Easy.
who won it? Who won it for the MPFL? Wasn't it? Who won that one? Tyler? Was it?
Watkins, Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor. Taylor won that one. That's right. On a dock, on a couple docks.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. Get
Yeah, and then he
sidetracked
won the
on-
first one the next year.
Right.
Mhm.
That one day shootout deal.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I missed the bar on that one, but I was catching, I was getting 4 to 5 bites, throwing a tail spinner on the bluffs on with smallmouth that I was like, dude, like I'm on them. Like, remember that tournament deal? Like, dude, it was hard to even get one bite. Like,
Oh
and I was
yeah.
getting 4 to 5 bites, and they were all over 3 or 4 pounds. They were like solid. And
Yeah,
that final day came, and I never got bit. I blanked that whole after that storm blew in. And, I think
that was one of my best finishes.
really.
Yeah.
How many did you catch? 2 or 3?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah, it didn't
But
take
the lake,
much.
it came up almost 30 feet.
I remember.
When you're dodging washing machines and refrigerators floating down the lake.
I remember. It was crazy.
Yeah.
The best thing they could have did on that tournament is the way they did it with the weigh-in, where we could launch at the 3 different launch ramps. That was cool. That was cool. But the funny thing is I was staying with Soak Up that year with John Soak Up, and I told when that water came up the day before the tournament, the couple days before the tournament, I'm like, I mean, this is tech. I was talking to him. I said, dude, this is textbook. That these creeks right here, and I pointed to the one Taylor one. I pointed to that one and the one before that. I said, this water came up 30 feet like that. I said, dude, these fish push up in these 2 creeks right here. I mean, if you look at the Bass Fishing 101, Chapter 17, it states those fish will be in those creeks. And he's like, well, go do it. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to gamble. I'm just going to go catch my smallmouth, get some points, and then weigh in. And I'll be gosh dang as Taylor won it out of one of those creeks.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when I found out where he won it. I'm like, gosh dang, I should have went with my gut feeling. But I
So-
never even seen that creek. I just went off the map. I didn't know what was in there. I just, just studied that map.
Well, that was a tough one with the smallmouth. They had to be 20 inches or something,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I caught whatever, like half-inch short, like 3 or 4 of them.
I think 18 or something. Maybe
Was
18
it
or
18?
19. 18, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
dude, they were choking that tail spinner. I mean, had it gagged in the back of their throat. Like one day of practice, I caught 6 or 7 of them, and they were all over 4 pounds. They were good. They were good ones.
Yeah. I'd like to go back there again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a fun lake.
What'd you think of Wright Patman the first year?
Oh man, I love that place. Dude, that's a bass fishing dream right there.
Yeah.
Do you know that
fun.
do you know that our championship was almost there for 2024? The one that we're fishing at Hartwell.
No, really.
It was gonna be there. It was gonna be there, and the city was all for it. And something happened where I guess 40 boats wasn't enough for the city or something. But it was gonna be there. Like the league was shooting for it to be there.
Well, that was crazy. It was the second MPFL tournament, and that Texarkana just went crazy.
Oh, dude, it was fun. Good fishing, good media, good TV. The good crowd showed up. I mean, to me that was probably one of the best events so far.
It was fun.
Yeah, people like to see that big line, braided line, sticks.
Yeah.
Frogging, flipping.
Yeah.
It was good.
They do. All right. Well, let's do something a little bit different. Let's get to know each other. All of us. All of us. I'm going to ask a question.
Oh my.
I'm going to ask a question, and you got to answer quickly, like the first thing that pops in your head. It doesn't have. It won't be quick because we'll start with Danny, and then whoever's last will have a little bit of time to think. But we'll start with Danny. I think I know the answer.
Okay.
I'm
ready.
He's got a thinking cap on.
Yeah. What's your favorite animal, Danny?
Favorite animal?
Favorite animal?
Bigfoot.
But is that an
I didn't
animal?
need the hat for that.
Is that an animal?
I don't know.
Or manimal?
Manimal.
Nobody else here is old enough to remember that show.
Mine is close. Mine is the gorilla. Like,
okay,
that's my favorite.
State.
Jesse.
Mine's
Solomon.
close. Mine's very close to yours, John. Mine's monkey.
Yeah.
Or a striped ass ape or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Dale.
Falcon.
A falcon.
Falcon.
That's cool.
Interesting. Lewis.
Probably cows, like bulls.
Bulls.
Yeah.
Are you a bull rider?
I used to in high school, and
There
a little
you
bit out of
go.
high school.
Me too.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought you had happy cows out there.
They ain't too happy when you get on their back and start spurring them.
So I have a great cow story from your area. So we had a guy, and Danny, you may have met him, that worked for us. His name is John Norris.
Mm-hmm.
Big John. Huge guy. Walks hunched over like he's carrying suitcases all the time. Anyway, he worked for Bass, and as a CTA, one of the tournament staff. And so we're going to Clear Lake. And Billy, you remember Billy, Danny? Billy Myers, kind of the lead guy. So John is with Billy. And we're going to Clear Lake. And, when you start going up the mountains to get into Clear Lake. Louis will know this. So there's little trails winding up the mountains, and there's some cows going up the mountain. And Billy tells John that these cows are special breed cows only in California, only in the Clear Lake area, that have 2 short legs on one side and 2 long legs on the other, because they're going up, because they're always going up these. And John sat there for a little bit, like 20 or 30 minutes thinking about it. And then he finally said, "What do they do when they come down?" Kyle, welcome.
Howdy. How's it going?
Good. So we're getting to know each other, and we're doing a little question and answer. And you just missed the first question. And the first question was, what is your favorite animal? So what is your favorite animal?
Angus cow, because I like ribeyes.
Angus cow.
There
Because you like to eat them. Louis was a cow or bull because he likes to ride them. All right.
I'll pass on that, but it sounds like a good time. You never know.
All right.
Maybe my second life.
Okay. What's your favorite drink?
You're still asking me?
No. Yeah, you can start.
Favorite soft drink? Favorite
Bush
Drink.
Light.
Drink period.
Bush latte.
What is it?
Bush latte. Second one's coffee, but I like a Bush Light once in a while.
Okay. Dale.
Yes. There you go.
Is that the same? Louis, what's yours?
I only drink 3 things and 3 things only, and that's water, coffee, and iced tea. That's it.
Good man.
All right,
Yep.
Danny.
Coffee and Yingling Flight.
Mine would be iced tea. I like to drink everything you all have said so far, except for the Bush Light. I'm not a Bush Light guy. But iced tea will be what you find in what I order almost every time I go to a restaurant. So
I can't pass up a good glass of sun tea.
Yeah.
yeah, sun tea, but I do the unsweetened, but I do sweeten it.
Yep. I
With
won't
sweet-
drink it if it's out of a machine. It's got to be brewed.
No.
It's got to
Yeah.
be. It's got to be brewed.
Yeah, Jesse.
I think everybody knows what I like to drink, but I like Crown.
Crown.
But
How you doing?
That's
yeah, I don't have
how
any
he
tonight
grows all
though.
those whiskers.
I just drove back from being in Omaha for 3 days, so
So Andrew Sales. Do you know Andrew Sales, Louis?
No.
He used to be the California Bass Nation president, but he lives in Wyoming now. He brought us some Huckleberry Crown
Oh wow.
for the nation when he was here at the nation championship.
Yeah.
And it was put away somewhere, but I just noticed that it's half gone. My wife has been dipping into it,
Oh
I
yeah.
have-
She's been dipping it.
and I haven't even had any yet.
Oh well.
All right. Favorite food, Jesse?
favorite food.
Yep.
I'll eat about anything, but I'd probably say a ribeye.
Yeah.
Me too. Ribeye.
Yeah.
Dale
That-
too.
that-
Danny.
That's easy enough. Yeah.
Oh. Kyle, same thing.
I mean, my favorite animal is a cow because I like ribeyes. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lewis?
Yeah, I'm about ribeye, but I mean, ribeye probably my favorite, but I gotta have we eat rice almost with every meal here. Like just
Okay.
white jasmine rice. Like I
Yeah.
can't go without rice.
All right. Ribeyes and rice. That's
You
what.
know what? Since everybody likes ribeyes here, let me throw something out there. Have you guys ever had ribeye cap before?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
I don't. I
Oh,
haven't.
next time you go to the butcher or like somewhere where they could cut you up some meat, ask if they have ribeye cap. CAP
Ribeye
cap.
cap.
Oh
Okay.
gosh, it's a game changer.
All right.
It's good.
Yep.
What's the number one preset on your radio, Dale?
96.5 sports talk.
Sports talk.
I like the Royals.
Lewis?
I don't listen to the radio that much, but when I do, probably K-Love.
Okay. Danny?
95.1 T95, Wichita,
The
Kansas.
old T95.
Still going.
Mine would be XM The Message
Yep.
is mine.
Yep.
And number two, for those of you wondering, would be Hair Nation on the XM.
I believe that.
Jesse?
Yeah. Radio is probably 610 sports, but I listen to a lot of Spotify. So
Spotify. Yeah.
yeah, like red dirt country type music, but
Yeah.
Kiki?
It used to be back when radio was the
K-Cal?
only thing.
K-Cal?
No, I'm a 97.5 KMOD out of Tulsa, Tulsa's rock station. When Phil and Brent in the morning were there, Roy
D.
Mercer.
Mercer.
Yeah, I mean, it was just great. Some of that music's kind of changed and things have changed or whatever. I'm kind of a Pandora guy now, and I like South Carolina beach music.
Wow.
Yacht music.
It's at the
Yacht
station. I was
rock.
trying to look at it, but I'm pretty sure it's called South Carolina beach music, and it's like anything from the Eagles to Tom Petty to just random. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's something different. So
All right. Did everybody go there?
Yep.
I think so. Okay. Your favorite song right now while we're on the radio? Kiki?
nothing popular. Nothing that I mean. The radio stations like around here just burn music out.
Yeah.
That's
So,
why I have XM.
I go back to the Carolina beach music, boys.
That's not a song. It's not a song.
Elton John, Rocket Man.
Okay. I mean, it can be your favorite song because I said now, but it still could be your favorite song.
I mean, that's pretty random, but it's a top
Rocket
10.
Man.
Top
Okay.
10 anyhow.
Dale?
Here Comes the Sun, George Harrison / the Beatles.
Okay.
I figured you were going to say something about my ding-a-ling or something.
You didn't ask which one to sing.
Oh,
That is
Jesse?
a real song.
It is a sound. Yeah, that's Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's now if it's the Beatles, but That's all right.
I don't listen to anything new.
Jesse?
I-
Sports talk guy?
I don't know if I have a favorite song I listen to, but my kids of this whole APT song by Bruno Mars is
Don't know.
always stuck in my head. So because they're playing it on the Google, they're like, "Hey Google," and it's playing. So
Okay. Danny?
Right now, anything new that Ozzy releases.
Is he still releasing music?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's what, 76, I think.
Still rocking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Lewis?
cool. Probably I've been listening to, so I listen to a lot of Christian music lately. But that one song, I forgot the dude's name, but it's called What You're Famous For. It's a pretty cool song.
What
And
you
I've been listening
famous
to a lot
for?
of Whiskey Myers lately.
Whiskey Myers
Like,
is good.
yeah, I've been listening to a lot of his stuff, or that band stuff.
Hey,
My
you
favorite.
remember the Newsboys?
Mm-mm.
No, Christian.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's 20, 30 years ago.
Mhm.
Good stuff.
It used to be. I haven't heard it for so long though.
Dude, I've been
My-
listening like the last 5-6 years. That's all I've been listening to is Christian music, and it's good stuff. Like, damn, real good stuff. Like, you don't even think it's Christian music. Like, you think it's just some good country with a little twist to it, you know?
My favorite right now is Hard Fought Hallelujah by Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll.
Brandon Lake, isn't he a Christian musician?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Hard
Yeah.
Fought Hallelujah by Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll. That's at the top of my list right now.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to that.
All right. What about sports? What's your favorite sport or your favorite team? What's your favorite sport besides fishing? We all love fishing. Danny?
Pre-transfer portal NCAA basketball.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Or any NCAA sport for that matter. But yeah,
Yeah.
Rock Shock.
Yeah. Jesse?
Probably baseball.
Royals?
Yeah, I like the Royals. I was gonna say I used to play a lot of volleyball, so I used to follow that quite a bit, but not as much anymore. So
Yeah. Kyle?
Jesse's definitely got the beach bod for sure.
Yeah.
I'm more like Jelly Roll now.
Hey, don't pick on the other dad bods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to buy a larger sweatshirt, cover that stuff up, bub.
Mhm.
He's got enough hair. He doesn't need a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Kyle?
I like a good football game, specifically when Kansas City's winning. You know, that'd be nice.
Mhm.
Most of the time they are. So hey,
Used to be.
it makes for a
It's
good
all in the
tailgate.
past. That's all in the past.
All in the
Dale?
past. Here we go.
I'm a baseball fan. I watch any level, any team, kids, whatever. Baseball, but Royals are my team.
Yeah. Lewis?
I'm not a big sports guy, but is poker a sport? Because I like to watch poker.
Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, it's on ESPN. Why not?
Yeah.
I can watch poker all day long. I love poker.
Perfect. And mine would be I like football. I like baseball. I love basketball. I probably equally. So I kind of go with the seasons. Like when it's basketball season, college basketball, I don't watch any professional basketball. But college basketball, and I'm like Danny, pre-portal was better. Huge Jayhawk fan. Football, y'all know my team. Won just as many Super Bowls this year as you guys did. So,
Right in the jump.
and then, but right now it's baseball, and I'm a Cubs fan.
Oh,
Yep.
go.
Hey, now I'm going to tell a little story about John Stewart that you guys may not know. He is such a fan of the Cubs that he sang the national anthem in their park.
Well, I didn't know that.
No, you messed it up.
Oh, where? What? Who? What did I mess up?
It wasn't the national anthem. I tried out for the 7th inning stretch.
Out for. Okay. I'm old. I forget things.
I still remember a story about the Cubs that I can't stand. It was one of the toughest days fishing on Table Rock I've ever had. I literally had
You
to
lost a
wipe my
sock
ass
that
with a
day.
sock earlier in the day. And it was a rough day, let's just put it that way. And this boat just kept going back and forth playing Go Cubs Go. Go Cubs Go.
That's funny. That's
And then
funny.
I blew the engine the next day.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoops.
Ugh. That was a rough one.
No,
Karma.
so the story was, if y'all knew, if any of you know who Harry Carey was, he was the Cubs announcer. And he, in the 7th inning stretch, would sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and he would lean out the window and sing, and just a huge tradition. And when he passed away, the next season they did a tryout to sing the 7th inning stretch, and every game they had a different fan do it. And so you had to write an essay telling them why you wanted to do it, and then you had to be picked from those essays, and then you had to go to Wrigley and try out. And so I wrote an essay, and I lived in Florida at the time, and I got picked. And so I flew to Chicago on the tryout day, met a buddy of mine who lived in Chicago. We went to the stadium. There was like 400 people there trying out. They divided us all up into groups. We each went in a different little area to do our tryout. And there was like, each group had like 10 people in it, and you'd go. And so our group was down in the depths of Wrigley Field, underneath the stadium where the umpires changed was where they had us try out. We were in that room, and I go in there, and the guy, there's 3 judges, and one of them asked me, what brings you to town? And I'm like, I'm here to try out for this. They're like, really? You came all this way from, because I lived in Florida. They're like, you came all this way to try out? I'm like, you're not like on vacation or something like that? And I'm like, no, I'm trying out, and I'm hopping on a plane as soon as we're done and flying back. And they couldn't believe it. Well, out of each group, they picked like one person, and then from there, they put it on the internet, and people voted to see who won. Well, out of our group, there was this little old lady. She was like 80, and she had all on her Cubs stuff on, and I'm like, there's no chance in hell that I'm going to win this deal against this 80-year-old lady that's been watching the Cubs for 70 years, and which I didn't, and I think they knew that. So after I was done trying out, they took me and my buddy down some hallways and through dark chasms, and we ended up out in the Cubs dugout, out on the field. We went through the Cubs locker room. It was cool, and they just did that out of their goodness, because I flew up and was flying right back. So it was a cool day. It was fun.
You
Cool
must be
story.
a big Sammy Sosa fan.
Yeah, that was a cool time in baseball when him and McGuire were going at it.
Right.
He was
Nice.
actually in the Cubs camp this year at spring training, like hanging out with everybody and helping the youngsters hit and all that stuff. It was pretty cool. But all right, one last question. Any weird hobbies Danny.
Wow. Why did you pick me first? Weird.
They may not be weird to you. Any hobbies?
I'm kind of a picker. And I don't mean nose picker or butt picker, but I mean like
Junk picker.
Like junker picker.
Yeah.
American picker.
My grandfather had 3 antique stores in Jewel, Kansas. And that's how, from the time I could walk and until he passed, I spent a lot of time with him going to farm sales and stuff and buying cool stuff. And one thing that got away from me when he passed, he had one of the old porcelain signs, the wrought iron and porcelain Ham's beer.
Yeah.
It was 8 feet by 8 feet square. Went up on the side of a building, and it was immaculate. And that got away from me when he passed. But that would have been cool to stick outside on the front yard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have. I don't think I have any hobbies really. I guess singing would be my hobby. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my hobby. Like, other than fishing, probably the thing I like to do most in life is that. I guess it's not really a hobby, but I guess that's all I could think of. Jesse?
I don't know if I really have a hobby per se. That's especially weird. But I don't know. I do a lot more working than I do anything else, so I guess that's kind of my hobby now. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here.
Hey, when you have kids at home,
that's a hobby.
That's a hobby in itself. Yeah. That's
luckily I have a wife that does the majority of the work. No.
Yeah. Kiki?
I'm kind of in the same group as old JJ up there in the top left of my screen, man. My hobby at the moment is picking up the backyard from all the toys that my kids have scattered out. So that way I can mow the grass without shredding a toy that they, left behind. So that's maybe my hobby is picking the backyard up, keeping it nice.
Well, just shred them. That'll teach them.
Yeah, but I don't mow.
I'm old school.
My wife mows, so you got me on that one.
He's a saint, I'll tell you.
Kelly Jordan mows the lawn.
Oh, she likes to get away from the kids. That's her peaceful time.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, okay.
Away from you.
Yeah. That too, probably.
When we lived in Alabama, my wife used to mow the grass. Like, she would get mad if she came home and it was mowed. Like, that was her deal. That was her exercise. But for some reason, she doesn't do that here. Maybe it's the 6 acres.
That could be.
Dale?
Nah, man. I used to carve crankbaits out of balsa every time I was grilling something. Is collecting Megabass 110s a hobby?
Could be.
Good hobby.
Yeah, that's an expensive hobby there.
I got more coming tomorrow.
Yeah. Lewis?
I ain't got no hobbies besides like tackle tinkering, and lately I've been getting into building rods and stuff like that, and designing rods and building rods. But dude, I'm a tackle tinker. Like, my garage would look like a bomb went off at Tackle Warehouse. Like, I gotta design. I mean, I designed so many swim baits and stuff being out here in California and stuff. Well, I used to have a swim bait company. I used to own Villain Baits. and I sold that I think in 2012 or 13. But I still love to build swim baits and design swim baits and stuff like that. But if fishing wasn't in my life, I'd probably be a gambler, a poker player, or something like that.
The
Yeah.
first time I met you, you were talking about all the spotted bass and what to do using the big swim baits out west with them.
Right.
Yeah,
We
it
catch
sounded
some-
fun.
What's
Dude,
the
we
biggest
catch-
spotted bass you caught out there?
Probably a lot of 6s and 7s. I think right at almost 8. Right at almost
Wow.
8, not quite 8 yet. But dude, there's guys that live up by Lake Shasta and get to fish it every day, and dude, they catch some giants up there on big swim baits because they eat a lot of kokanee salmon, the baby kokanees, and they're like 6 to 10 inches, and those spotted bass just get big.
Yeah.
They get big,
Yeah.
you know. But they'll eat a 10-inch swim bait like nothing.
Yeah. There was a short period of time, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, where you were hearing a lot about big spots like Bullard's Bar.
Oh yeah.
And it's, we don't hear much about it back here. Are they still catching them like that? Like they
Oh
were?
yeah. Oh yeah. It wasn't as good as that year, I think 2019, when they broke the world record like 3 times in one
Yeah.
year or whatever it was. It hasn't been that good, but it's still good. Like there's a lake that you guys probably don't hear about called Whiskey Town up by Lake Shasta and Bullards. And that's
Yeah.
another one that pumps out big ones, but you don't hear about it because they don't want to put it on the map. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they don't want to get all the YouTube traffic coming and stuff like that. But there, I mean, if you ever really want to learn how to throw swim baits and learn like just everything about a swim bait, throw swim baits to spotted bass and you'll learn everything. Like a spotted bass will teach you so much about hooking a fish with swim baits and just everything about them.
Like what? What's something that you don't really understand about a swim bait until you do it?
So a lot of guys will just, so here's one little nugget. Like, so a lot of guys like top hook swim baits, right? When they're, the top hook ones. But if you watch a spotted bass, how he'll track the swim bait, he'll come up behind it like this, and they'll actually get behind it and hit it like this to knock it, and then take a headshot like that. You know what I mean? So what I'll do, I'll never throw a top hook swim bait with a spotted bass because their mouths are so much smaller. And when they hit the tail and swipe it around and then they take that headshot, that top hook actually pokes them on the foot, and they get back
Yeah.
and they look at it all crazy, and they might take another shot, but half of the time they don't. They'll just swim off. So I'll clip that top, like on a Huddleston or something like that. I'll clip that hook off and just put a trap hook with a treble hook or something. You know what I mean? A lot of guys don't know that about a spotted bass, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I will not throw it. And then now, just getting into it, I rarely throw a top hook with largemouth anymore, just because of that. But a largemouth will eat it from behind. Like that's why they'll eat it. A spotted bass will hit it, knock it sideways, and then take headshots. But
What about a smallmouth? Do they do that?
nah, smallmouth don't like the big baits. Like they just don't. Like I think they know their mouths ain't that big and they can't choke it down, so they don't even try. But they'll track it. They'll track it they'll track it for sure. But I've never caught giant smallmouth on a big swim bait before. You know.
Where's your favorite place to fish other than California? If you had to pick somewhere else. in the country?
I like Texas lakes. I love Texas lakes. Like Texas lakes, I like. Um, Florida lakes, I like, but Florida's changed. It's not the old Florida no more. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, Florida is different than how it is now. You know,
What's
and I don't
different?
because I think they spray too much over there, and there's no real grass fishing no more. Like it's not like there's no, I don't know. I think the grass is the main concern. Like they spray so much over there now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to the St. Johns River now, and you're not fishing no grass no more.
Right.
It's all pad fishing and stuff like that. Where back in the day, you could sit out in the middle of Lake George and just cream them in Okeechobee too. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no. I mean, look at that last tournament. Everybody's catching them in the canals. It's never been like that.
Yeah.
You know. But I really liked when we had that tournament at Lake Eufaula, Alabama. I wish we'd go back there because I love that lake. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good lake. I
Yeah.
like that lake. But Texas, I like fishing Texas. They take care of their fisheries over there.
Yeah.
A lot of big ones there, and it's fun fishing there.
Where's your favorite place, Jesse?
Oh, probably Table Rock. It's frustrating, but it's always a challenge.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like it so much. Is I learn something every single time I go there.
Is that
And-
where do you like it when you're not tournament fishing?
Yeah.
Or would you rather go somewhere else?
No, I have a cabin down there, so I fish there probably
well-
more than anywhere. So
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like grass lakes, but like I said, a lot of them are getting sprayed around us. I used to really like Mazingo in northern Missouri for big fish. They sprayed it. We're actually drives me absolutely crazy because it's not good for the water quality for lakes like that too. And I work in the water industry, so I feel like I know a little bit about it. But and then like I say my PB came in Texas on a lake with grass in it. So
What lake?
Lake Palestine.
Oh yeah, Palestine. That's another one I wish MPFL would go to. Palestine. Oh God, that lake's badass.
Yeah, it's amazing lake.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Dale? Traveled around?
Anything up north, but I don't know. Table Rock is high on my list. Kissimmee was fun, but I don't know. Up north, I went to Erie with NPFL. That was fun.
That was fun.
That's just a whole different world.
Dude, that last day of that tournament, I caught 2 over 6. God, I mean, smallmouth, 6-pound smallmouth. I mean, that was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kiki?
Favorite lake around here for me is Table Rock, man. It's a bass factory.
It doesn't have to be around here. Anywhere.
No, I'd love
anywhere you've been.
Gunnersville in April was great.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been on a lot of trips to Table Rock in the spring, and you know, it's a bass factory. You catch 50, 60 fish a day sometimes, and on pretty much whatever you want to go do. And it's diverse. It's got a little dirty water, and it's got some really clear water. It's got trees and rock, and you can get your butt kicked doing about anything, or in November we got our butts handed to us on a glide bait.
Yeah,
it's just there's big largemouth, there's spotted bass and smallmouth in there, and I don't know what else you could ask for.
I caught my PB in a Kansas Bass Nation qualifier down there. That was fun. Making a 7-pound pole was unreal.
Kiki, you don't like bushes though, right?
I mean, they're just nasty, dude.
They start kicking a little bit.
Just nasty.
Danny, Cedar
Um,
Bluff.
Maybe back in the day. Yeah. But I was thinking of this place the other day, and I haven't been there for years, but Lake Hudson,
Yes.
Oh,
when that's on, that's hard to beat, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
go to
it's another one of those that's very diverse, and when it's full and on, you can do
Mhm.
literally anything you want to do.
Yeah.
Good time.
Can
Yeah.
you tell us, is it there's like three, I have three favorite areas on Hudson. So what I need to know yours to see if mine's the same. Is
No.
it A, B, or C? Bass Haven, Spavinaw Creek, or Saline Creek?
Hey.
I like C.
You
I
like
like
you like a little current?
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like A.
There's a lot of people that like A. I like the whole thing. I agree with Danny. That is a really fun lake to fish.
Well, my favorite is Minnesota.
The state of
The
Minnesota.
whole state, anywhere in Minnesota. People ask me all the time, out of all the places you've been and all the places you've fished, what's your favorite? And it's hands down Minnesota.
Yeah, they
Hands
don't get a lot of pressure up there.
No.
I've been trying to get Jesse to go up there with me for years, and he won't do it.
You can go to Mille Lacs and just stay in that area somewhere. And if it's wind blows and you can't get on Mille Lacs, just go to one of the other 50 little lakes around there, and they're all chock full of bass, smallmouth, largemouth. Doesn't matter.
Get
Fish.
with me.
Yeah,
Get with me. My family's got a cabin an hour and a half from Mille Lacs.
yeah. Awesome place up there.
Idle Zone Syndicate trip.
Mhm.
KBN tournament director Danny travels to Minnesota.
No.
Uh,
Well, you could say former director Stewart also.
all right, let's get back on track a little bit. Kiki, you got anything you want to ask Louis? You came in late.
I don't necessarily have a whole lot because I wasn't watching before to see what you guys asked him.
We didn't ask. We haven't even hardly talked fishing.
I don't. I was curious a little bit about, logistically living in California, and the majority of the tournaments, primarily have been on the East Coast. Just, what time of year, when do you leave your house, when do you return? But I thought I heard you saying that you kind of fly back and forth a little bit and
Yep.
and stuff like that. So
Yep. I leave, bring my truck home after the last tournament of the year, and it takes off out of here the first tournament of the year, and it stays back east all year long.
nice.
And everybody's like, how much is it more, or how much? So I've been doing it a while, and you probably got to add a $10,000 bill to your season.
Living out there.
Yep. Well, all the plane tickets and this and that, and close to 10 grand a year, just extra, probably.
And then my second question, and you answer it however you want, but I'm not a good judge of age. So, but I'm just curious. You said I think I heard you say you fished some of the one bass stuff on the West Coast and things. There's that part of the country has pumped out some serious fishermen. Did you ever have the chance to fish against Aaron Martins or Greg Gutierrez or Skeet
Absolutely. I Aaron was one of my buddies. Like, yeah, we grew up I'll text you guys a picture of my dad and Aaron when he was 18 years old, 18, 19 years old, and they were all sitting in the boat together. So we'd known Aaron growing up. Aaron only lived an hour from me, so we grew up fishing team tournaments against each other back when he was young, before he moved to
Cool.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably hands down, probably in my eyes, probably one of the best fishermen to ever walk the earth. I mean, just natural, just a natural,
Yeah.
just
I,
just a just so what an awesome dude.
when you hear that about him from a lot of people, and I had an opportunity to watch him a couple of times on the water. We watched him fish on the Elite Series, watched him fish Grand, Table Rock, and man, he was catching them off the bank with 2D sonar and a map.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good. He was catching suspended fish, and he was one of the best to do that off the bank without any of the cheater box or whatever you want to call it. But
Yep. He's such a natural. Like, he's just the dude has gills, man. Like, and I remember one time at Lake Mead, we were all at Lake Mead, and he was diving, free diving, and sitting at the bottom of the lake just to see what the crawdads were doing or what color the crawdads were. and and he would sit down there for minutes and just watch these crawdads. That's how in tune he would get. Like, it was just so crazy. The way he would go through a robo worm bag, like he would literally go through every bag of robo worms and literally pick 2 or 3 out of them that he would use and throw away the rest. Wouldn't boil them, wouldn't do nothing, just throw them away. Like, he was just a perfectionist at what he did. I mean, dude had gills for sure.
That's interesting. I've heard, I've talked with one other professional fisherman that was he actually told me kind of a similar deal, and he was sponsored by Zoom, and he did the exact same thing with their plastics. If the pinchers on the speed crawl wasn't perfect and yada yada yada, and
Yep.
a friend of his was a guide, and the buddy of his was standing right next to him, and he goes, yeah, and he goes, when he didn't like the plastics that were in the package, he goes, I just take them on guide trips. I loved it. It was the best thing that ever happened.
Right. Yeah, Aaron was special, super special. Like, he just understood anything under the water better than anyone else. Just like, just the way he'd break down something and then he would tell you about it would just blow your mind. You'd just be like, well, how do you think of this? Like, how does that even come to you like that? It's just crazy. Yeah, super special.
Yeah. And he, there's certain people that he's one. Pee Wee, most of you don't know Pee Wee Powers, but Danny might know him, knew him. But he's one of those, him and Pee Wee are just like they love the sport and they loved you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't ever remember Aaron not loving somebody. Like,
Never.
really. Like, really. Like,
always rooting for you too. Always
rooting for you. And
yep.
I remember when the split happened at Bass, and we were at the last classic at I believe it was Knoxville.
That's the one.
Yeah, the 1-1. And so I was working the yard. My job at the classics was to send the anglers in to the arena. Like they'd come back from the lake, and then I'd send them in whenever I wanted to send them in. We'd hold some. If they had a big bag, or if they were Aaron Martins or Kevin Van Dam or somebody, you'd hold them till later in the weigh-in so people didn't go home. You know, if they all weighed in first, then everybody'd go home. So anyway, so I'm in the yard, and it was a weird classic because half the guys in that yard are leaving. They're not going to be back. And you guys know me. I'm going to shed a tear once in a while. And it doesn't really take that much for that to happen. But so I'm in the yard and I'm saying my goodbyes. See you laters, and Aaron comes to me because I'm struggling a little bit. I just got done talking to Ott, telling him, see ya, good luck. And I was crying. And Aaron came to me and just put his arm around me and said, love you, bro.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
And that's Aaron. That
Yep.
was Aaron. And that was Pee Wee. Pee Wee would do the same thing. He called everybody son. And I found out at the funeral, I thought it was just me that he called son. But I found out at the funeral that he called everybody son, and he treated them like that, like a son. It's pretty cool. Those people are rare.
Very rare.
Those people are rare.
Yep.
So what you got, Danny?
Honestly, if you want the honest truth, I'm sitting here thinking that it's awesome that we haven't argued about anything tonight. We haven't cussed anybody tonight. There's so much negativity in our little world at the moment, our little fishing world. And it's awesome to hear stories like that about competitors.
Yeah.
It's
feels good.
Yeah.
And we're blessed to have the Bass Warrior with us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Third time was a charm. Did I tell you guys I got a memory problems?
Well, you can't ask him the one question. I mean, you could.
Oh, I
guess you can.
So you do travel some in your truck, obviously, because you got to take it out and take it back.
Yep.
So when you are on the road and you see something or see a sign along the interstate, oh man, I got to stop. That can be a hamburger place, a snack bar,
steak place,
yep. Ice cream,
ribeye cap place.
Yep.
Where you got to stop?
Oh, that's easy. Any tackle store for one, but a Buc-ee's.
Oh yeah,
that's easy. We don't have Buc-ee's out here.
Oh, I know it.
So when I see a Buc-ee's, I'm like, oh yeah, I need something. I don't know what it is, but I know I need something.
If you're out our way, we're gonna have one up in Kansas City soon.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Dude, Buc-ee's are so awesome. Like, I wish we had one out here.
So if I was coming out there, you know what mine would be if I was coming out there?
In and out.
Bingo. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. You guys don't have it in and out, but everybody loves it.
Louis, you're a tackle tinkerer. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cherryville, Kansas. I have a speech impediment. I want to test you a little bit.
What's up?
What am I holding?
Shit, I can't even see that. It looks like some kind of crankbait.
That's a crankbait.
Oh, there you go.
What kind?
That's a storm, ain't it?
Okay. More specifically, it's a short wart.
Yeah. Yeah.
My screen completely just went to me and me only. That's scary.
Yeah, it was. It was a
think our
little
producer
it was
did
a little
that.
blurry.
The producer was doing that, sir.
Yeah.
That thing looked good.
Yeah, that's kind of what
Oh yeah.
I like.
Oh yeah.
I like old tackle. I like old.
Oh yeah. Like the old speed traps and
Yeah.
baits like that. Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got another one for you then.
I love old crankbaits. Oh yeah.
I don't know that. Maybe you've seen this before. I don't know if even you'd be able to identify the make of this one. It's hard to identify.
It looks like a
Man's.
it looks like a
Man.
man's for sure. But you know what that body looks like too is one like the Lucky Crab
that a-
moon salot or whatever
Open
they
to
call it.
anybody?
What's that?
This is a man's M79. It's called an AccuTrack. The cool thing about this crankbait is it has a self-leveling line tie in it. So if you when you tie your line to the split ring on the front, the underneath of it, it always corrects itself.
Oh yeah.
Always runs true.
It's not a very good color.
It's not, but there's not a whole lot of these around, unless maybe I know somebody at Grand Lake that's got some.
He doesn't know what color it is.
Oh, you
tell him
don't?
that.
This is silver and black. Hello. What are you shaking your head about? It is too.
No, it is not.
Lynn, what color is this jig I just tied while we were sitting here?
Black and blue.
Yep. See?
Only color jig you need.
Green pumpkin and brown. Best of both worlds.
Yep.
Ask your other question, Danny.
Okay. Crazy. Well, I'm going to broaden this out, and as we get into our second season of this podcast, I'm going to morph the questions. I've had this constant question that I've asked everybody that's come on. Craziest thing you've seen on your screen, on your graph, something weird or something out of place, or you were like, what in the world is that?
Dude, you want to know? It's so funny. Where was I at? I think it was Watts Bar. I can't remember where I was. I think it was Watts Bar. And dude, I'm talking full on pyramid. Like, I'm talking, you could see the full on pyramid. And I'm like, what is that? Is that like a real pyramid? And it probably went 30 feet, from the bottom. But it looked just like a freaking old school pyramid. And I don't know what it was, but I hit it from all kinds of different directions. And it was a pyramid of some sort.
Wow.
But I didn't know what it was. But it was probably 30 foot tall. Like, it was huge. And I called John Murray after the tournament. And I said, dude, I was in this area. And he said,
Did you
there
see
was
the
an old
pyramid?
Yeah, right. He goes, I know back in that creek, another 100 yards, there's an old blown out dam. He goes, but that's not where you were. You were out in front. So he didn't know what it was, but he was thinking something. It was probably something to do with that blowed out dam or something, because there was a dam and an old dam and an old train track that rolled through there and bridge. And he's thinking it's something to do with that. But dude, I thought I was like, I thought it was like a pyramid or something. But I thought that was pretty weird, But I've seen, dude, you go to the Delta, and you start fishing these canals in the Delta, and there's roads on these canals. Every canal has a road on it. So I've seen everything from school buses to cars to quad runners, motorcycles. I mean, everything came off that canal, wrecked off that canal. I've seen every vehicle you could probably, imagine, just trucks and school buses and, there's everything at the Delta, tractors, you know.
Well, you've made the top three for me. I'm
Oh yeah, pyramid.
Yeah, pyramid.
Hands down.
What else have you?
That's got to be
Oh.
number 2.
Oh gosh, we had Polinick on. He talked about the UFO he found.
Spaceship Galactica, Starship Galactica.
Yeah,
Right.
we had about 3 guys in a row that found a body.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, that's not funny at all. But
Yeah, we almost changed our questions after that.
yeah,
3 in
I
a
mean
row.
that literally was like 3 weeks in a row.
One of them.
Oh, wow.
One of them got hung up on it with his crankbait.
Yeah,
Oh,
I found
Oh.
a car with his lights on in a strip pit in Pittsburgh.
Oh, outstanding! That's about 10 miles from the house. Thanks, Dale.
With his lights on.
Yeah, well, it was closer to Frontenac, and after hearing the stories, I just left.
good man. And that's enough of that.
Yeah.
wow.
Why did you want enough of it?
We don't want any visitors from Frontenac.
Right.
Told you.
No.
You know what I'm talking about.
So you want to hear a weird story? I was not there, but so my dad fished professionally, and then when Bassmasters came out west for those years, I think 95 through 99 or whenever they came in and had the Bass Opens out here for those couple of years. So he was at the Delta, and he made the turn to this slough, and when he made the turn, he noticed like he passed something. Like he didn't know what it was, something floating like plastic or whatever. Well, he knew it wasn't a log. So he went in this canal, he's fishing all day. And when he's coming in for weigh-in, he was idling out of the canal, and there was all kinds of, sheriff boats and this boat and that boat. And he's like, what the heck's going on? So he idled by, and they stopped him, and they're like, yeah, this and that. Well, that thing he passed was a body with the dude's head cut off, like decapitated, but it wasn't like decapitated anyway. He said it was like a laser, like a laser took this guy's head off. And long story short, it was a like a mafia type retaliation thing. Yeah, crazy. Decapitated someone's head, and the dude was floating in the Delta in a plastic bag.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
not good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not-
What do you guys think? I mean, should we keep asking that question?
Maybe not.
No.
Yeah, maybe not.
Hmm,
That's crazy.
it might be
That's crazy.
incriminating ourselves. You never know.
Right?
Mm. So what's your goal? What's your goal for this year, Louis?
My goal was to make a run at Angler of the Year. I thought the last 2 years I've been in the top 10, and I was like, man, I've never really tried to win Angler of the Year. I've always just fished. I've never really started the year where I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to try and win Angler of the Year and try and just make that push. But I told myself this year I want to try and win Angler of the Year, and then my first term of the year I bombed, like my worst finish ever. So my goal is just to, like always, just make the championship. Make some money, just have fun, just fish. I think next year I'm gonna try and work on my sponsor game this year, and I really want to fish 2 tours next year. I either want to fish MPFL and like the Bass Opens and try and qualify, or just the MPFL and maybe fish the invitationals.
Mm-hmm.
I want to either try and fish the BPT or maybe the elites.
Right.
But I mean, it's just all has to do with sponsor dollars. If I
Yeah,
had the sponsor dollars, I totally would. I'd
sure.
try and fish all three.
Sure.
But those sponsor dollars are hard to
Yeah.
come by.
Yeah, and that's the one I'd say maybe downfall of having three big leagues is that sponsor pot gets spread a little thinner,
Yep.
and you know that's one thing the bass world needs to figure out is to get some more non-endemic sponsors,
Yes.
that so that everybody's not, Mercury's only got so much money,
Yep.
to give out anglers, and Tackle Warehouse only has so much money to give out to anglers, and
Yep.
so it gets divided up. Um, do you do anything else besides fish? Do you have a regular job, part time, or anything like that?
Yeah, like I'll so I've had my contractor's license for a while, and so in between tournaments I'll try and take a couple quick jobs just to in between tournaments come home. And it's hard to work for somebody an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5
Yeah,
or whatever when you leave so much. But I try and I got my HVAC contractor, my HVAC license, heating, air conditioning. So I'll try and bust out a couple jobs in between tournaments, you know, help out with everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
cool.
I'll do that.
That's
I've been
cool.
doing that for 27 years.
Yeah,
Yeah. I would love just to fish full time, but that's hard. It's hard.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah. But if I just need to work on my sponsor game. A lot of it is just, work on your marketing, work on this, and you'll get some good sponsors. So I need to work on that.
If we could just snap our fingers and you had the your one your favorite what sponsor would, if we could help you by snapping our fingers and get you a sponsor, what would that sponsor be? Who would that be? Like your dream sponsor. Yep.
Dream sponsor would be shoot. Huh. That's a good question. Man, I don't know.
Bucky's.
Right? But what would be a cool sponsor? A Copenhagen raft boat. Copenhagen snuff.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Hmm.
Copenhagen, but I mean, any fishing sponsor. I mean, just to be a part of, you know. But I've noticed like your big title money sponsors usually don't come inside the fishing world. Usually, I mean, it does for
Yeah.
some, but I mean, the pie's pretty ate up. You know,
Yep.
Mhm.
So to get like a 60, 70,000 dollar title sponsor is, you gotta think outside the industry a little.
Mm-hmm.
Get those non-endemic sponsors. My
Yeah.
my title sponsor this year, my truck and boat's actually getting wrapped this year or right now, but it's a cool wrap. But it's Stealth Lithium batteries, and these guys are like, I mean, the dude's smart. Like he invented these lasers or like a plasma, these plasma cutters and these
Mm-hmm.
lasers for this. So he's already made his millions. So he's just dipping in to the lithium batteries, and he already designed some chargers. I mean, his videos already. I mean, he keeps these chargers underwater, submerged for like 48 to 72 hours, and they're still running. I mean, and the batteries I ran the batteries this year so far, and I mean, every day every day I've come off the water, I've checked my app, and they've only dropped like 80 to 80, 82%, 83%. So the all grade A sales, like they're gonna hit the market next month. So keep an eye out for Stealth Lithium. I mean, the dude's a genius, and it's all grade A sales. It's not just buying a battery overseas and sticking a sticker on it. Like
Mm-hmm.
He's designed some cool things. He designed these little mini fire extinguishers. But like if you get a normal fire extinguishers like what comes in our new boats, those
Yeah.
are not going to put out a lithium fire. Like they're just not. So he's designed these little lithium in case you ever have a lithium fire or something that'll actually put the fire out. Um, and then just being a part of this new company is pretty cool. Like, I'm glad I got in with these companies when it's first hitting the market, so I could grow with the company.
Mhm.
Be one of their first guys. So I think that's I'm pretty grateful for that.
Do they have a website or anything yet?
Yeah, they do. Look up Stealth Lithium, and they got all the Instagram, Facebook stuff, and all that. And the app just got built, just got done last couple weeks ago, or probably 4 weeks ago. And the app's so user friendly. I mean, it's just the guy has OCD, and he's just a freaking genius. Um,
Yeah.
but everything has to be perfect, everything, or he won't bring it to market. But he's the one. I don't know if you guys seen the battery trays yet. The one I've been posting about, it's called the whole shot battery trays. It's these welded battery trays that are like super sturdy, super just good looking. Everything's perfect on them. Each one has a name tag riveted to them, serial numbers, model numbers. But it's the weight's actually in the bottom 3 inches of the tray, and you weight it with shot pellet, like gunshot pellet. So when you take your AGM out, you weigh that AGM, you take his battery tray, and you pour in your shot, and it weights the battery tray. It weights it. So
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys have all these problems with their boats after they put lithiums in them with the bow and everything,
Mhm.
and their whole shot. But dude, these battery trays are they're freaking badass. I mean, they look good, they're easy, and they do the job. Icon is actually he's in with Icon right now. That's why I'm running Icon this year, is because my title sponsor is in with the Icon family, and they might be putting them in their boats, here on out. But yeah, they're you guys should check them out. It's called the Whole Shot Battery Tray.
Whole shot battery tray.
Yep, by Stealth Lithium. And they're not expensive at all. They're I think around 90 to $100 a piece. But if you look at any other real nice battery tray on the market, that's right in that realm.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know.
Maybe you can network, and if they get in with Icon, you can get you an Icon out of it.
I'm running an Icon this year.
Oh.
Yep. 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 My boat wasn't wrapped at Santee. It'll be wrapped at here on out. But I ran that Icon the first time at Santee, and I was really impressed with it. Like really impressed with it.
Yeah.
Like like yeah. I didn't when I because I rigged it myself. It came in 2 weeks before Santee, so we rigged it ourselves, and I did the lake test, and I was like, man, I don't know. I should have maybe stayed with Ranger, and then I fished that Santee event out of it, and I was just blown away. I was freaking blown away about it with it. Just everything. I mean, totally set up for a tournament guy. Like
Yeah.
they really thought of everything when they built that boat.
Very good. Well, we've kept you almost 2 hours.
You makes up for the time I missed.
Have you got any advice for uh as we're getting out of here? Have you got any advice for like a kid or a high school kid or anybody that's just starting out, wants to maybe be a professional angler, anything?
Absolutely. My best advice, like the best advice I could give to a younger angler is the the fishing and all that will come with time on the water. That all comes with time on the water. There's stuff that you could only learn with time on the water. But all you youngsters make sure you work on your marketing and all that, because more it's nowadays it's 70 to 80% marketing, and then the fishing's the rest. You know what I mean? You want to you make a career with fishing, you make sure you work on your marketing, sponsors, YouTube, uh, all your social media. That stuff is a bigger player than just being a good fisherman and getting top fives.
Yeah.
If you want to make a career out of it.
Yeah. That's good
I mean,
advice.
it is, and that's the best advice I could give you.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Just real quick, I was looking at the comments here, Louis, off to our right, and Chris Wisnant saying hi. He's watching. Louis
yeah,
is the man, he says.
That's my buddy. I like Chris.
Yeah.
Good dude right there.
Where can we find you, like on your social medias and all that? What do you got?
Louis Fernandes Fishing, and that's everything. Facebook, Instagram, email louisfernandesfishing@gmail.com.
That's awesome. We enjoyed having you. We are going to ask you the same question we always, or try to get the same commitment that we always get out of the anglers that we have on. So as soon as you win one of these next couple tournaments, we want to have you back on.
Oh, absolutely.
First, like before anybody else.
Sold.
So
All
Brandon
Yep.
ghosted us.
Yeah.
Like, did he not say if I called him that he would come on?
Yes.
Did he? I think those were his exact words. And our podcast. Yeah, for some reason he went on Mercer's show first, which
you got my word. I'll come on you guys first.
All right.
You guys all saw that. You all heard it.
But you also know you got to remind me like 3 times in one day because
we will do it. I sent him. I knew we were good this time. I sent him a reminder yesterday, and he responded with a little heart. And then I gave him a 7-hour reminder today at the 7-hour mark, and he responded. So I'm like, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good. He's not gonna forget.
I think we're good. Louis, it was a pleasure having you. Can't wait. Good luck this year. We'll be cheering for you. And when you win that next one, come back on the show.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks for being on.
We'll see you, boys.
You bet. See ya.
Cool dude. I'm glad we kept after him.
Yeah.
Very cool. Jesse didn't pay Dale's internet bill.
Phone bill or something.
So
Poor Dale.
Yeah, Dale's commented at least he can watch, so he's commenting. It was good for them to catch up. I visited with Dale a little bit over the last couple of weeks about Louis, and he's quite impressed with him.
Yeah. Yeah, seemed like a good dude.
Wish him well.
Yeah.
Jesse, you have a fan. Did you see that?
Oh, Abby? Yeah, I did see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan of Kyle.
Huge fan of Jesse.
I am too.
I still remember the day where Kyle and I fished together after we didn't make it to the final day at Toledo Bend, and I still think it's the most entertaining time I've ever been in a boat.
That was outstanding. We both sucked. We looked at each other that morning and go, what are we going to do? I was like, I don't know. Maybe you want to go fishing? We're at Toledo Bend. I mean, Jiminy Christmas is stupid. He's like, yeah, let's go. I was like, okay. It's just, well, where are we going to go? We're going to get in somebody's way. I don't care. Let's try over here. All right.
And the bushes started shaking. You know,
oh my
gosh. I've never seen somebody move so fast from the front of the boat to the back of the boat.
Dude, there's too many snakes on that lake. Like it's not natural for there to be that many cottonmouths in one state. And so I was like, so
He's an alligator.
Well, you for sure don't want to go to the Red River out of Shreveport then.
probably not. Probably not. I don't know that I want to go back to Toledo in April because I was just so shaken up by all the critters.
Back in the day when they used at the nation championship, when they used to, the presidents would be observers one day, and then the conservation directors would be observers the next day, and then it would be volunteer half and half on the final day. And so I went as an observer on the president day, and I remember being with a guy from I think he was from Arizona. And we get out there, and the first thing he says is, let's count how many snakes we see today.
I'm out.
And I was like, well, I mean, that statement really didn't bother me, but that was back when I was like wishing I could compete and be there. And I'm thinking, this guy's at the national championship, and he's just more worried about how many snakes he can count than he is catching fish and moving on to the classic. And I was like, I'll trade you, buddy. How about you sit back here and count snakes and I'll fish and try to qualify for the classic. And that's all he did. Like literally out loud counting snakes all day long. And he didn't catch any fish. He caught like one fish.
Yeah, it sounded like maybe he was concentrating on the old squirrely gigs. Oof.
Ick. So,
Yeah.
so Jesse was kind enough. We had a KBN tournament at Table Rock. Coincidentally, the last time Kansas won the national championship, mind you. But Jesse was good enough to put us up in his cabin, the tournament crew, and we were nice enough to bring the flu with us.
Well, not only there's more.
Oh, there's so much more to this story. But yeah, I felt like complete death on the way down. And pretty much the first 2 days was horrible. And then the first night, Mrs. Tournament Director comes down with it. And I think by this time, the guys were all just wanting to wrap us in plastic, keep us away from them. But Crank, being a smartass over here in the comments, and he says, I'm going to take an ice cold shower in honor of Jesse's cabin.
Hot water heater went out too. It was terrible. Oh my gosh, it was bad.
It was March. We all had the flu. Jesse's water heater went out. Connor,
you had
Connor
food
probably
poisoning from
has-
the ice cream you ate.
Yeah.
maybe so.
That's what Wendy says.
Not fun.
Oh,
Not fun.
that was a rough one, but good time, good people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
it sounds like a great time. You just spreading all the love.
Oh yes.
That was a 4-man event.
Mm-hmm.
That was down there. Yeah.
Jesse, what's going on? Where are you at right
You know
now?
where
Are
I
you
was
like-
that week?
I'm in my shop. My wife just messaged me and said good night, and I've been gone for 3 days. I've been working out of the state at conferences for my work and doing presentations and things like that. And so, yeah, now I'm back home, and Danny asked me to be a what'd you call it, Danny? A
Special
backup?
guest star.
Yeah. just in case. So
Is
that's
that
why
a-
I'm here.
Is that a Ranger sitting behind you still, or what?
No, it's a Charger 210 Elite.
Ooh,
I've had
nice.
it I bought it in 2020. So
It's
Outstanding.
purdy. It's purdy.
It looks like it fills the entire garage up.
no, I got a lot of other crap.
Oh, okay.
I got my golf simulator over here.
Man, I wish I had one of them.
Yeah, I'm still not very good. I try, but this is my house, as my kids call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting
Yeah.
in my house too.
It's mom's house up there. So
Yeah, I'm sitting at 507 North Second and a half.
So, before we run ourselves ragged here, and we're already at the 2-minute or 2-hour mark. Jesse's you're going to fish Eufaula?
I am not.
You're not. Okay.
Yeah, I decided. So I took a promotion at work this year, and I'm going to have to do a lot more traveling. So I decided I'm going to fish more at Table Rock this year and not fish as many qualifying events, because I've been last couple of years I've been fishing all over and trying to make it, and I never really do. So I told myself I'm going to concentrate and get really good at Table Rock. But yeah, but I still want to, but at the same time, it's like trying to set my priorities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you're doing this weekend. You're doing AIA?
No, this weekend is actually I'm
Yeah.
taking an old buddy that I used to fish with a lot, Jake Williams. We're going down and fishing the Big Bass Tour. So
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
and it's supposed to rain the whole entire time. So
Jake commented that earlier. He needed a Table Rock report.
yeah, I just told him to make sure his lines through the eyelets. Because last time he didn't even check any of his poles. He comes out and yeah.
Oh, the Jaker.
Yeah, he hasn't fished in 2 years. So
Know the feeling.
Probably catch a big one.
yep.
Guaranteed.
Catch a big one.
The wigglewort bite ought to be going like crazy down there, don't you think?
I don't know. Last time I was down there a couple of weeks ago, it was 45 degrees is the warmest I seen it. And now I heard it's up to 58. So I mean, but the water's probably going to rise 14 foot. I don't know. But yeah,
if you get some dirty water, you better get your butt to the bank with a spinnerbait. If you get some dirty water. If not, I would be hard pressed not to have a crawdad colored wigglewort in my hand, but
yeah. Or that one you were holding up.
maybe.
Or a red one.
Yeah. My cabin's down by the Kings River. I don't know if you know where that is, but it's a little bit dingier water. Where Sweetwater access is, and yeah, you can throw some bright colors and catch the crap out of them. So
Yeah. Not too far from, where I really like fishing at a lot, that's a good area of the lake. Good area of the White River.
yeah, little Mill Creek right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The unknown Mill Creek.
Unknown. It's like me, I can tell you I've never been in the Kings River. I ran into the mouth of the Kings River by accident, realized where I was at, and ran back out. I was trying to get to Big M.
Oh, he turned left and he should have went straight.
Yeah, I zigged when I should have zagged.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, down there by Roaring River.
The Pizza Hut. I was headed to the Pizza Hut.
Well, that's the Shell Knob.
Yeah. Well, I was all sorts of jacked.
I
Okay.
guess.
Oh,
I'll
the
tell you
Roaring
this.
River drive was great with the flu too. Let me tell you that.
The what?
The drive through Roaring River was a blast while you're trying not to throw up in your truck's windshield.
Where do you
That
put
was
in?
good.
Ass.
Where do you put in at the most, Jesse?
Sweetwater. The Sweetwater Beach has access right there. It's less than a mile from my place. So
The one time I went to Grand and got a guide, Grand Table Rock, and got a guide. We put in at Mill Creek and fished around that area.
Yeah.
We caught a lot of fish on like nothing that day. It was the worst. It was the worst day of Table Rock fishing I've ever had.
He's not going to show you his good stuff.
Well, we went in September.
Uh,
We probably shouldn't have done that.
Should have went to Grand.
Yeah, it was terrible.
You had a good tournament this last weekend. You and Moody.
Yeah, it was fun. Finally caught some fish. Gee, many Christmas. Finally caught some fish. It felt good to set the hook. I got a jig bite with like 5 minutes into the tournament, and I, flipped the black and blue jig up on the bank because it was still
With the
dark
pork frog.
with a plastic imitation pork frog. Yes.
What the heck?
Flipped it, a zoom chunk. Flipped the jig up on a bank next to a rock, and I picked up on it for the first time, and I'm like, that's funny. That jig's swimming itself. Oh crap! Set the hook, dummy.
What place did y'all get?
Like 13th.
Yeah,
So
you had a good.
Good showing.
so you're
17.
a chunk, not a crawl.
I was just trying something new, honestly. I've been in such a funk a little bit with stuff that I'm like, what the heck, try something a little different. And we had Pat Slopper on a while back, and he was like, Uncle Josh this and pork frog that, and you're crazy. And so I'm like, I bought some of the Zoom chunks. I don't know exactly what they're called, but I was throwing a black and blue jig with an electric blue colored
Uncle Josh.
electric blue colored Zoom chunk on there, and it looked spicy in that dirty water. It looked good.
What it look like? Brown.
You couldn't see it. It was like 4 inches of visibility. And it was dark out. I mean, we went out at 6:45, and it's like it's still dark until like 7:05.
Yeah.
Well, just something dark, and then flipped the jig a little bit, threw a crankbait a little bit, threw spinnerbait some.
What did it take to win that tournament?
Like 23 or something. I think it took a 7-something for big bass. Some friends of ours had 2 6-pounders and got third big bass.
Nice.
Yeah, there was like 5 bags over 20 caught. I don't know the whole results. I haven't looked, but
I couldn't find them the other day, so when I looked, but they weren't up yet or something.
it was a beautiful day too, really. I mean, it was 80 degrees.
Yeah, it was
Sun-
nice.
The clouds kind of went away, and it got nice and warm. And the fish, just like I've been saying a little bit down there, they're just wanting some sunshine really, really bad.
And they're not going to get it. Now it's going to go back to the cloudy, rainy. They're going to get knocked back into the funk again, probably.
Like where the area of the lake we were at, we were on the upper end, and like you can go in about any pocket and catch males in the backs.
Mm-hmm.
We saw people everywhere we went, we saw people catching fish, and we saw a ton of males getting caught. So things are starting to happen. I mean, the water temperature was like 59.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of sucks that the weather's doing what it's doing, but it's spring.
Yeah. I might go in the morning. I mean, I might go tomorrow. Maybe not in the morning. It might be storming in the morning, but
Yeah.
after the storm passes, I might go, even if it's raining, just to see what's going on.
You know, like Jesse, you know, I've been down at Grand, gosh. It's the only lake I've fished all year, sorry.
I like Grand too.
I used to go to Table Rock with Moody like every spring in April, and it was just I can just remember so many trips down there in April. Like, dude, it was a freaking blast. I mean, like, just fish. We never here and there we would catch like maybe a 5, like one a trip, you know, and that's like 4 days of fishing or so. Somebody would get a 5-pounder, but a lot of 3-pounders. And like, just there was times where we would go in like mid-April and you could see them kind of thinking about nesting. You know, the floating worm was good, but a lot of times, man, it was like crankbait, underspin, spinnerbait,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a Carolina rig.
Yeah.
You know, good time.
Yep.
What are
I've
you
been
fishing
throwing-
this weekend?
What's that?
Go ahead.
I've been catching a lot of fish, like which I haven't done this year yet because it's been almost. You're gonna get beat on an A rig if you don't throw it in some of the tournaments that I fish earlier in the season. So I've been throwing a lot of A rig, but I've been getting like one of the best things is like I've been throwing a heavier chatterbait because people just don't throw it down there. And catching pretty consistently, you know, off brush piles and things like that, and any depth of water, right? And so you can find them in the brush, and I don't know. That's been something that I would say that I feel like one of these times I'm going to find the right brush piles, and it's going to just load the boat full of them. But
Yeah, like
something different.
Are you throwing the 1-ounces?
The heaviest ones I have are 3/4, but all. Like I said, if you can slow roll it over the top of those brushes, like those brush piles and stuff, it's pretty deadly. Yeah, you tend to get the bigger bites too, not the spots that just smack the crap out of it. So
Yeah.
I've been kind of wanting to sample some of those big. Have you seen the ones they call like the big blade?
yeah,
I've been kind of wanting to sample those a little bit. I've been a little hesitant to buy them, but
I have not caught a fish on them yet. So
they have not.
no,
But
I think they should.
Yeah, I mean, a chatterbait's a good lure.
Did you guys get your Bassmaster this week? I just got mine today.
I have not received mine.
Well,
Will Davis Jr.'s on the front cover.
yeah,
Nice.
look at that.
Nice.
I mean, what a season. He's been on this show and also on the cover of Bassmaster.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
stayed
awesome.
here.
And yes, ate armadillo chili under the awning with us.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it, but me and my wife made the cover of Bassmaster.
Yeah, I made it years ago too.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, Kyle.
Hell, that was 10 years ago.
My cover's like when you were in junior high, probably.
Is that when you still had hair on your head or what?
Yeah, I probably did back then. What are y'all fishing this weekend? Anything?
AIA.
I'm doing that big bass tour thing.
How's the payout in that one?
I haven't looked at the payout structure. I just know that it's like every hour. If you have a big one, you can wade in. I think it's like $1,000 for first, and it goes down from there to like 10 places or something.
What's a first place prize?
Overall, I think it's a boat.
Nice.
Nice.
Just sell it in the parking lot.
Chris
Have to
fishing
pull it back.
Skeeter. Devin's fishing Joe Bass. Skeeter. Chris is fishing XFL. That's on Sunday, I think.
Dude, I'm kind of curious to see what it's going to take to win AIA Saturday at Grand.
It'll be interesting what this weather does to it again.
Yeah, because it was really getting hot.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see what it takes for big fish down at Table Rock too. What do you think, Jesse? 7?
I don't know if it's going to rain the whole entire time and it's cloudy. I feel like there's going to be a lot more fish up shallow, and you're going to see some big ones. But like a couple years ago, no, it was probably 3 years ago, I seen a 9-pounder got weighed down there. So, I mean, they're big right now. Like they're fat and they're ready, right? So
there's still some big mamas going to get caught on jerkbait too, won't there?
yeah.
You know how to throw that bait?
I learned everything I know about jerkbait fishing from Dale, so really no, but I like to.
I thought the only 2 lures you knew how to throw was a jerkbait and a stupid tube.
No.
You've branched out a little bit, huh?
No, I throw a lot. I used to throw a square bill almost religiously. That's about all I threw. But yeah, I like to learn new things and do something weird. You know, I'm kind of a weird guy.
I don't know what you're waiting on. You kind of have to drive. Well, you don't have to drive by my house to get to Table Rock. You probably take a different route, but pick me up.
All right, let's go.
I'll take the day off. I ain't scared.
Show me a thing or two
Of what not to do. Remember.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, I'm glad that Brock didn't join in this little chat tonight on the comments, because he had all kinds of stories, he said, about you two and Gunnersville. Or Toledo Bend or Gunnersville. I don't remember which.
Toledo Bend when Kyle was giving him a hard time.
Could be.
When he on the last day before Kyle and I are just drinking, knowing that we're not going out the next day, and he draws Albert Collins. Yeah. I think everybody here knows who Albert Collins is. So,
and then catches an 8-pounder behind him
on the square bill I was throwing. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I still have a few of them that color. That's a really, really good color.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it.
Me neither.
I tell too many secrets, and then I get myself in trouble. So I remember one tournament back in the day, I caught an 8-pounder in practice on that same lure, and my co-angler that was fishing that team series with me locked me in my hotel room and just kept feeding me drinks of Crown. So
we'll get it out of you one way or another, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, John, not that these guys aren't just absolutely vexing, but who do we have next week?
Interesting guest next week. We have NPFL angler Stephanie Hemphill Pellerin.
Cool.
She has fished the Lady Bass Anglers before. I believe she was the Rookie of the Year when she, like in 21 or something on the LBAA. I don't know if she still fishes LBAA, but she's fishing the MPFL. And she has stayed here.
Toyota too, I think.
Yeah. So that'll be different. We can get the woman's perspective in this mostly men's, tournament fishing atmosphere, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Stuff she has to deal with, but she's got a podcast. She does a podcast with Harvey Horn from our, and does that, and she's pretty outgoing and I don't know, bubbly, I guess. But it'll be a good time, I think.
It should be.
Be a good time.
Take us out, DB.
Take us out. Why? So Jesse, let me tell you, before Crank hits play, Jesse's like, okay, I can join for a little bit.
I know, and I can't turn it off, right?
We don't expect we know you have stuff to do. We don't expect you to do 2 hours. We don't even plan on doing 2 hours, and we still like, yeah, I'll join for a little bit.
Well, mine wasn't break. I was hoping mine would break out too, and then I could have an excuse. But I didn't want to just hang up on you guys, It's been a while since I've talked to Kyle too.
Yeah, man, it's really good. Just seeing your pretty face, dude.
Yeah. You got to make it awkward.
I'm just trying to hold back. Just a man of your stature and pulls up with that shiny Ranger boat. I was just in awe.
I hated that Ranger. I hated that Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dale, if you're still watching, thanks for coming on tonight. We're going to have you back again sometime. Guarantee it.
Yep.
Maybe, and we can go ahead and apply this to our local guys too. You win your derb, you got to come back on here first.
I mean, that was just.
It'll be a while.
I was going to say, can I get off until I win a derb? Because I can't seem to get past second place.
Well, at least you get to go.
This is true. And I'm happy for it. You should come down and fish the ABA division on Grand, Jesse. It's on Wednesdays.
Last time I fished Grand, I'm so pissed off. So I don't know if I want to go back. My co-anglers I'm catching dinks, and my co-anglers are catching the crap out of them behind me. So
well, these are solo, so you don't have to worry about them.
That's a good idea. No.
Those damn co-anglers.
Yeah.
I mean, we accept co-anglers, but none of them show up because it costs the same amount of money, and you got to fish against the boaters. So,
yeah,
I might go as a co-angler.
Do it,
because you got some hammers fishing that tournament.
Yeah, we do.
And one of them I talked to last weekend at the boat ramp that we put in, and he's like, dude, I had so much fun. I can't wait for the next one.
Nice.
He said he had a blast, enjoyed the way the tournament was ran. Yeah, Paul Smith. Shout out to Paul Smith from Copan, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We had 22 boats at that first one. We might have 30 boats next time.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's you got a pretty unique deal.
I was really not expecting that. I was really hoping to get 10 boats.
I was hoping you got a dozen.
Yeah, 10 or 12 boats.
But I mean, you had some legit like we're here to win kind of guys show up. And I was like, oh my.
Yeah.
He's- in 2 weeks, or 2 months down the road, John starts doing flights
Yeah.
on a Wednesday.
In an
I'm gonna have to bring in my crew for launch then, because so my pastor and his wife and their 4 kids are my tournament crew. And so originally I said, come in the morning. Can you come in the morning? Blah, blah, blah. And then the closer it got, I thought, we're going to have 10 boats. I can send them off in the morning by myself. No big deal. I can have them sign a piece of paper, sign them up, get them out, 10 boats. Well, then we had 22 boats. And I'm like, And they were and I told them they didn't have to come, so they didn't. And they were happy about that. But at weigh-in, it was, the boys ran the fish, and they took the bags out to the guys, and they ran the fish after we weighed them. And I had the pastor bumping the fish, and his wife and one of the daughters was putting the weights in the computer, and the other one was checking them in as they came in out on the dock. But they had a good time, and they're like excited. They're excited for the next one. They're like, leave your keys. We'll set it all up and you can fish a little longer. So, I'm like, great. Perfect.
you were the talk of the ramp Saturday morning.
It was fun time. It was a fun time. And I don't know why anybody that's doing ABA tournaments that is not using the software it is so easy. So easy. And it's live, real time.
Well, I'll say this about it. So it's a good thing that you started that division, because from what I know, ABA won't go to a lake unless there's a division on it for their championship.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why they haven't been back to Grand since Paul Smith won in 2000 and whatever that was is because there hadn't been a division there. So
yeah.
Might be
there is now.
a chance.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
I hate to do this, guys, but I got to run.
Yes, you do.
We all
Good seeing you,
do.
big guy.
Hey,
Man,
Cutting into
appreciate it,
my
guys.
toes.
Jesse.
Thank y'all.
Yep.
Don't be a stranger.
All right. Bye.
Crank, let's get out of here.